Hi, it's Sue with Everyday Artisan again, back with my April wears and makes. Only this month, I'm going to split that into two videos. I have a lot I want to talk about with both of them, and so I think it would be easier if it was two shorter videos than one long one. So let's go ahead and get started with the wears. In April, I wore 10 different handmade things again. I'm finding kind of 10 a month is my average, so that means about 30% of the time, which I think is pretty good. This being the beginning of May, and what I usually tried to wear, Me Made May, wear something every day. And I think I mentioned in this my other video, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe I'll try and wear more. I don't know. Hey, day one, I'm already wearing something, so that's good news. All right, let's get to the April wears. I started out with my 28th wear, and it's so hard to see in this picture because it's really dark, but it's the navy mini skirt. I'm just wearing it with a plain old black t-shirt and then the navy cropped cardigan over top. The mini skirt is reversible, and I actually did make a video about it back a year ago in March 2025. So I will link that in the description down below. I'm going to be linking all my blog posts or videos that will tell you more about any particular item. And of course, comment and ask questions as much as possible if you want to see something or want to know something, or I might even pull a couple things out from the pile to show you. Day 29, it was Easter. And so I always love wearing my Twilight, the ruffled jacket on Easter. And this year I got to do something a little bit different because I had just back in January made that little cropped wrap in Twilight. So I'm wearing the ruffled jacket, I'm wearing my white panel tank, and I'm wearing the cropped wrap. 3 things in one outfit, pretty darn good. I have a blog post for the ruffled jacket. I made it back in April of 2019. And I have a blog post for the panel tank. I made that in July of 2019. So again, linked below. All right, day 30. I'm just wearing a plain natural tank, but wearing it with my striped scarf. Made that back in May of 2018. I'll link it down below. That I did get a question about the striped scarf. So this was a total, I think I had just bought the book, which I don't have handy. Do I have that handy? No, embroidery of the geometry of hand stitches sewing, and I do have it handy. Sorry. And so it talked about all the different kind of cool stitches that you can do. It's got templates in the back to make sure all your stitches are even and look perfect, which mine don't usually. But what I ended up doing is, because I just used scraps. Normally you would want to go with the grain on a scarf, but I went across the grain because like I said, it was a scrap at the end of a yard. And so when I made it, it kept trying to curl up on itself so you couldn't see all the beautiful work I had done. So I ended up taking it, folding right sides together, just doing a stitch down the side. And it's kind of now a tube, which is kind of weird looking, but at least it shows all the great stitches that I did on it. Okay, day 31, I'm wearing my ballet corset with the ballet sleeveless bolero. And I'm going to pull that one out because I wanted to show you, this was the one that I just had to redo. I just put a plain racing stripe down the side, added an extra 1.5 inches to each side so that I could fit into it. Let's see, I think I made this, well, the bolero I made in 2016, so 10 years ago. Yeah, things have moved in the last 10 years. But then I ended up putting the feathered chain stitch around the neckline and the armholes, which that's become my favorite stitch. And, you know, before I just had like, I don't even know if you can see the stitches because it's the same natural colored binding and thread. But that I think was just the herringbone, which is nice, but boy, this feathered chain really sticks out. Okay, so that was day 31. And on day 32, woohoo, I'm wearing my Indigo, it reverses to peacock, mini skirt. I didn't blog about that one since I had blogged about the navy and black reversible mini, but I did the exact same technique on it and love it, find I wear it a lot. In this particular picture, I'm actually wearing it with a shirt, a Project Alabama shirt I bought off eBay. I know that for the most part, Natalie Chanin doesn't love the Project Alabama work, but a lot of the work, some of it, I agree, polyester, not her design at all because she had a partner, but a lot of it is stuff that's very similar to, if not almost exactly like her designs. And so I bought that shirt off eBay, and then I'm wearing the Indigo cropped cardigan with it. Okay, that was 32, so now we go on to 33. That's going to be my navy and black bolero, and I just wore it over black top. But it's so hard to see in the pictures that I put on Instagram that, let me show it to you. So it was this bolero. So this is navy on navy, but with black paint. I've got black binding with, yep, my feathered chain rosebud stitch that I love so much. In reverse applique Magdelena stencil. This was a favorite. Let's see, I did this one back in December of 2018. I have a blog post about recreating a dress that I found online, and this was on that same blog post. So that was 33. So now we're on to 34. And I love this picture because it also includes my peonies, which were blooming in my garden at the time. They're about done now. They were actually my grandmother's peonies, and they're beautiful, and I love them, and my garden is spectacular. I'm so happy, but then that means that probably another 30% of the time I'm wearing garden grubby clothes. So the baby doll top, actually, I have a blog post. It was DIY hijacked. It was a baby doll dress kit. I decided to just turn it into a skirt and a top. And I find would get a lot more wear out of it, I think, as separates. And that's actually something I'm going to talk about in the wears video, is whether or not to make a dress or separates, because that's been on my mind a lot lately. Okay, then day 35, sorry, I keep reading my list because there's no way I'm going to remember if I don't. Day 35, the rose wrap cardigan and just a plain navy tank. This was from an Alabama Chanin kit. It was their first time, I think, they came out with a zero waste kit. I'm actually wearing it I was at a plant sale at Pharsalia up in the mountains. It was gorgeous. I should be showing you all those pictures. Anyway, on to the next day. We've got day 36. I'm wearing that same panel tank that I wore earlier in the month. You can never go wrong with a white shirt, can you? Especially in the summertime. And I'm wearing it with the navy cropped cardigan. You probably get tired of hearing me say that. And a scarf that I had bought from Alabama Chanin. You know I love my scarves. Okay, and then the last day of the month, yesterday, I wore my black midi length, I think it's the fitted skirt pattern, but I kind of made it square across the bottom as opposed to the fitted skirts, kind of got a little tail on the back end. I'm wearing that. It's got the New Leaves in indigo, appliqued on top. And I wrote a blog post about that back in 2019. So I'll link that down below. And I'm wearing it with my black reversible corset and the indigo cropped cardigan, which I wore earlier in that month. So that was my wears for April. And I'm excited to see what comes up in May, because the weather's getting better, so I can start wearing like more sleeveless and skirts and things like that. So thanks for joining me for this video, and hopefully you will click on my wears or my makes video too, because oh boy, my head's just a jumble with what I'm making. All right, thanks so much.